Hi there, my name's Chris Kilby, a pastor in a pergola, and here is today's bite-sized Bible from 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. We're looking at what Paul says about leadership, and today I want to look at this one verse that highlights for us 7 traits of godly leaders. It's not often that you'll get one verse that contains 7 clear bits of teaching in it, but here we start to see some of the expectations, or if you like, qualifications that God looks for in his leaders. Let me read the verse. Now, the overseer, he says, must be above reproach, the husband of but one wife, temperate, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, and able to teach. So some advice there for any of us that would aspire to be leaders. Firstly, a leader must be above reproach. That means that literally everyone must speak well of them. Their boss, those that they employ maybe, or their family or friends, they must have a high regard for the person who is qualified for leadership. Secondly, Paul says that they should be the husband of but one wife. Now, he doesn't actually teach that a leader has to be married, but he must be a one-woman man. He must be a faithful husband if he is married. And it's interesting, the assumption in here is that this shepherding role, this overseeing elder role in the New Testament church is male. Now, that's perhaps another discussion for another day, but it's explicit there in the text. Paul says as well, temperate. A leader should be temperate. If a climate is temperate, it means it doesn't have massive high temperatures or massively low temperatures. So if you imagine the Mediterranean, it's just pleasant most of the time. And so Paul is saying that a leader should have that kind of balance, that kind of not massive highs and not massive lows in their emotional life. I like the way PJ Smythe, church leader, puts it. He says an elder might not be Mr. Flashy, but he must be Mr. Solid. So a leader must be temperate. And then Paul leads us into the area of kind of self-control, our self-leadership. The reality is if a person can't lead themselves effectively, then they're just not yet qualified to lead others. So if their own life is in array, in a bit of a mess, then maybe they're not yet qualified to lead others. I mean, I sometimes think, would I trust my car to a mechanic whose car was an absolute wreck? I probably wouldn't. And our life somehow models the way we're modeling this fruit of self-control. He also says we need to be respectable. Leaders should be respectable. Now, it doesn't mean we dress smartly and speak nicely. It means, are we respected? Do people speak well of us? And he also mentions hospitality there as well. We need to be hospitable. Now, that doesn't mean you're able to host a Delia Smith dinner party, but it does mean that your home and your resources are there to be used for the good of others. One way that my family has shown hospitality is by adopting. We've chosen to adopt 2 lads into our family, and so we've opened up our home in a hospitable way like that. And finally, the last qualification that Paul mentions in this verse is an ability to teach. Now, interestingly, this is the only one in the whole chapter that's not related to character, although you have got to have a certain character to desire to teach. But an ability to teach others is about your gifting. You need to be able to just open up the Word of God and allow it to teach others. So that's my encouragement to you today. 7 traits of a godly leader. If you want to grow as a Christian, I want to encourage you to pursue those 7 things. My name is Chris Kilby, a pastor in a pergola, and I look forward to seeing you next time.